Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. And welcome. So, I'm in the business of making and selling matrices. Matrices. Individual matrix units. Yeah. Much better than selling the actual prismatic material by itself. It's just cost a little bit of gypsum. 39,000. Domine. All this expired stuff. Alright, let's go down to Monarch's Bluff because that's where all my expired flim-flams are ending up. But first, I think we want to swing on by a couple locations. Alright, let me just respec this for a second. Whatever. Okay, I'll take a proficiency booster. I was going to bounce to a couple spots really quick. I'll enable PvP right now, and I'll go ahead and play the music right over yonder. I must have been tired. Yeah. Well, it's just how it works. I stream a long time. Well, if yesterday's stream was very long, buddy. I was live all night for 12 hours, and then I did laundry for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I came back for another 3 or 4 hours of a stream yesterday, which is why I pushed later on. You know? I was live for such a long time yesterday. But I'll be live, you know, for 12 hours here, at least. Depending on how tired I am after the stream. You know? Okay. You'll be home in 3 hours at about like 3:30 a.m. Pacific time. About 1:30 a.m. or 12:30 a.m. Eastern time. The server reset is at 5 a.m. Pacific time, 2 a.m. Eastern time. So you have time to get some stuff done before the day rolls over, you know, whatever daily quests and daily processing that has to be done, you know. No. I want a little hobbit house. Little hobbit houses. Do you think the new zone's gonna have, you know what, it probably will. Maybe not, I don't know. Do you think it's gonna have like claimable territory, like a, in forts? Is there a fort in, well, there is a fort and so forth in Cutlass Keys. I don't think there's a fort in Elysian Wilds. I hope that's not the trend. And you can't control this territory. You know? So, I hope that's not the trend for new content. Well, I guess Elysian Wilds is a bit different because there's a paywall. You have to have the expansion for the Elysian Wilds. Oh man, my spot was taken. Is that guy like a bot or something? You're moving very bot-like, pal. Alright, let me go across again. Yeah, I don't care about these boxes. I just gotta keep checking a couple spots every so often. Like that spot, but there's someone there right now. I'm hoping maybe at like 2 a.m. I'll come back. Around 2 a.m. Alright, let's go over here. I'm trying to stockpile certain materials. Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, the new OPR map is in the new zone, but it's just themed up. It's not like in the new zone, you know. You can say that the new OPR map has the same tile set, you know, like the same assets or the same architecture. Alright. And on we go. Okay, that one's also taken. And those trees are gone. And these trees are gone. Okay. Well, now is not the time for that. Maybe I'll do an maybe I'll do an ECR or something, or anything else. Now is not the time for any of that. I guess I could go over here and get the. There's some wood over here. I'll take a honing stone. Kind of off right now. Yeah, someone just got him. Someone just got these trees. Alright. Alright, I'll leave here. And someone got that water. People are farming it up. Alright, I'm leaving. Not this spot. Yeah, someone was just here. Even that small tree to the right is gone. Alright, and now I'll hop right over here. I just gotta hop to a couple different spots, you know, no big deal. Gotta check. Because there's many different areas, different resources they need, and there's different hotspots. And people aren't going to be at all the hotspots. And by the time I go through one, I'll go to another one, and then I'll go back to the one that was already occupied. You know, if there's one that's already occupied, I'll just come back to it. Many men. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not gonna eat the logging food right now. Come on. Come on. Certain things I need. I hear galloping. Are there multiple players? Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright. That's all good. And over here, I head to a different spot now. I have a spot in mind. And there's some moths over here. Can't wait until there's a single button press to go between different builds. Right now I have to keep moving points around. I'm not the most combat effective right now, but that's okay. Okay. You're right over here. And there's cauliflower. Jeez. Wood. Wood. A little private hidey hole, you know? Yay. So my goal is just make sure I get this prismatic material every day, and then I'll turn it into the matrices as much as possible. I'll try to get all the matrices down because people need them. And they're worth a lot of money. That's crazy. And even if I chose to buy the materials from the auction house, I can still make a lot of money. Okay. A lot of money. Like 1,000. 1,000 per craft or so. And all I'll have to buy is it's a prismatic material. You can't buy the gypsum orb. And you can buy Azoth, but it's just not really worth it. Maybe it's like 10 gold for a container that contains a few... sorry, 10 gold for 50 Azoth. I gotta keep bouncing around. I'm gonna bounce this spot right here real quick. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, Tuesday. Yeah, so, hold on. Oh. The week is gonna roll over, right? Let me just make sure. The week is gonna roll over with this next update. Or it just rolled over? Hold on. The week just rolled over? Yeah, like today's Tuesday. Anyways, let's go over here really quick. I'm gonna stop by one more spot before checking the mithril again. Maybe another spot. So I have to buy my key, you know? There's the wood, everybody. There's the wood. Beautiful. That's why I came here for, because sometimes you can get it. Sometimes you can get it. This is the very end of the Cutlass Keys route. I'm not eating any standard food right now, but that's okay. I'm not really fighting anything right now. Oh no. Let me get to the sanctuary. I was helping. I got you, buddy. Yeah. All right. I saved that guy's life. Like a rag doll. Alright. Cool. And now I'll go over here and I'll grab this other stuff. Well, I love the fact that weapon and armor matrices, matrices, can be traded and sold. That's awesome. I'm just gonna dip right over here to grab this wood. And I'm stockpiling a bunch of doubloons right now. So this is all I want. But I'm gonna go right over here and attack these guys for a second, even though I'm kind of weak in this build. So I'm just doing this to make some noise so that if other players are in the area, they'll show themselves. You know? Before I start chopping down those trees. And just to get these guys out of the way. You see? Oop, nanny cup. I wonder if there's a... there probably is some sort of translation somewhere. There's like this other language. Dragzog! You know, even our people speak some other languages. Our characters aren't really speaking English, you know? It's just through cutscenes and everything it seems like we're speaking English, but we're not. We're speaking some other weird thing. Listen. Hold on. What the heck is that? Dragzog! That means hello. And the Lost Dudes and the Varangians and some of the corrupted guys that are humanoid, they sort of speak this weird language. And I think it's all the same language. Ooh, strasty. Ooh. Ooh. It's like some weird, I don't know. I'm a linguist. See, this spot's usually available. That's why I came here. Like the spot over there, the spot over here. Easy peasy. And you're pretty safe, like right here in front of the spawn. You know? Because players that are spawning in from right over there, like this guy right here, he has 30 seconds. 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like that. That person has 30 seconds before they can do anything. Or before they can loot or harvest chromium. Oh yeah. You're mine now. I understand. It works sometimes though. It works. People accept it sometimes.
Well, is it active?
No. No.
Is it just you in it?
Yes. Well, I'm like a live streamer, but I'm garbage, you know. And I try to get people that watch me to. I got like a couple people that watch me that play with me, you know. I'm trying to expand it, and it doesn't take that many people. But there's really good companies from what I've seen. Not mine. You know, there's a lot of people that are good besides me. There's really good companies that do stuff all the time.
You know what? I got you.
Oh, yeah. Humility. Humility. Oh man. Who even was that guy? I don't even know. One member online. Is it just you? As a matter of fact, yes. Yes, it is just me. Alright, boopy pop. Okay, I want to check this one spot here, and then I'll go back to the mithril. You know what? I think I'll check the mithril first. Let's go check the mithril first. Super quickly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm gonna check this spot. Maybe ride it. Ride. There's also some cauliflower I can pick up from this trail over here. Man, there's somebody in there right now. I hear him. Come on. Oh my god. What are you, a bot? What are you, a bot? Probably. These people are trash. I hate this person. I hate people. It's gonna stay here all day or something? Alright. We go all the way down to the mithril first, and then I'll get the orichalcum on the round trip. Just do it. Do it! Dang it. No. I need to go further down and then get the mithril on the round trip. I'll go ahead and eat the mining food. Come on. The big chunk will be spawning soon. All that matters is this prismatic stuff. Before I was selling it, now I'm using it to then make something to sell, which is way better. Selling raw materials, what is this? And I love the fact that I could actually make a profit if I were to buy up the other material. You know, maybe I should every so often buy up some of the material that I'm also using to then raise the price of the material, so I have the option eventually to sell it. You know, I can sell it whenever the price gets really high that I've engineered myself, as long as I'm still within the profit window of the final outcome. The issue here is if I get too much material, the bottleneck will become the gypsum, where I'll be forced to get as much gypsum every day and then use all of it. Right now, I'm still over 100. I don't know how much I have. I have a whole lot. But I think to modify or to upgrade a weapon or item, it requires the matrix plus a couple other items, and then one of them at least is only obtainable from the faction vendor with a cooldown. You know, it's like a weird orb thing. And I think it also takes 20 gypsum at that point as well. It takes 5 gypsum for the subcomponents. Alright. Right. I'll let him get that while I go over here. And I'm going for the wood. The big mithril might be back now. Nope. Alright, we're gonna go back down. Let's go down to the logging. I'm getting a lot of beetles from this route here. Alright, no trees over here. No trees over here, but there might be a beetle. Might be a single tree. Nope. Okay. And now it's time for you and I to arrange a heart-to-heart, people. You don't need advice from little hornbills. Yeah, chromatic seals, those things, yeah. Those things. I'm gonna go right here. Alright. The bottleneck with the prismatic blocks, I'm trying to address that. Hey, there's stuff up there. Hey, that's probably the answer. Hey, was that you that was trying to find the route up there? Sean? If you're listening, I think that was you. But look, there's stuff. Boom, boom, boom. So it's probably from way down here and you have to go across that way. It's just misleading. You know, sometimes there's like a misleading path in a video game where it seems like that's the route, but the route's really like over there. Maybe. Of course, we could just look this information up on the internet, but that's no fun. Well, check around the corner, but I don't think it's going to work out. I heard someone mining. What is going on right now? It's like everybody's playing right now. Everyone's playing the game right now. I've entered the hotspot, which is like midnight. Alright. I'll go to another spot after this. I'm gonna leave here. I don't want to do that section yet. Not yet. Let's go over here. They'll never know where I am. They'll never know where I am. You know, there might be like a hotspot of really nice resources. The best resources in the game. Like 10 nodes of mithril and whatever. The best resource spawn. Harmonica. No, I do miss Red Dead Redemption. The problem with Red Dead is that there's a clear narrative. I'm talking about part 2, of course. The narrative, and things are just winding, and it's sort of hard to determine, unless you've already played, which quest will push the narrative forward a big old chunk, you know? And then you lose, it's like a TV show. Like, major characters die or something, you know? And then like the fun and opportunity and things start to reduce over time. It starts to get pretty realistic. And then if you choose to really get immersed, there's a bunch of like little achievements and so forth involving hunting and whatever, and fishing and all the stuff you gotta do and side quests. But because the game is so darn realistic, hunting is really slow. It's so good though. It's so realistic. It's like the best hunting game. You have to actually track animals, sort of, you know. They move around, not just in a spawn point. You know, they may or may not be there. They may or may not be there. You have to look for a bird by listening to the bird call. Look up at the sky for a bird fly. It's ridiculous. You know, if Red Dead Redemption 2 had mining, it would be. I wonder how long it would take to mine each node. You know what I mean? How long would it take to mine each node, and where would the node even be? It would be like a long sequence with several different camera angles happening, with you like going down to your knee and taking out something from your side and unrolling it on the ground and going. He pulls out a tool and a dusting kit and looks at it in the light. You know? Well, it's time to go ahead and skin this animal. Easy, easy. Almost done, girls. Gotta be done. Hold on. Almost done. Oh. mean, this game has skinning, and it gets faster. The other game, Red Dead, you never, like, gather faster, I don't think. It's always, like, the same gather speed. The Onyx Wolf. Yeah, the some is just you keep going through the area, knowing that they're going to spawn in some place. Like to get the jaguar thing, you know. You know, it has to be raining. It's in this general area where it doesn't, you know, overcast helps, and at nighttime. I was using bait too, here and there, like the bait and stand downwind or whatever, all that stuff. The cougar hunting, they just end up spawning and attacking you. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 3 is coming. Probably it'll use whatever fine-tuning engine that they work with for GTA 6. Okay. They're doing something for GTA 6. They're reinventing the wheel a little bit. I'm sure they're using existing tools to make their new game, GTA 6, but you'd like to think that there's some next-gen action going on, and that involves a vaguely new engine. And that same engine... So, for example, if GTA 6 has revolutionary water physics, why wouldn't Red Dead Redemption 3 have the same exact physics? Right? And why would they have to invent anything for that side? There's nature stuff in GTA 6. I'm sure there's even hunting, you know? There's probably hunting. Because that's what makes GTA good, because there's a bunch of side stuff you can do. You can play tennis or something, and go on little races. Whatever, hiking trails and stuff, and scuba. It's got to increase all the normal immersion. The cool part about Red Dead Redemption, more than, on top of the story, was the fact that it's sort of like a simulation for living in that time period. It's a sandbox it's like a cowboy sandbox, a western sandbox where you can do whatever you want in that time period. Well, what's GTA 6? It's a modern day realistic sandbox. You can call it's an urban sandbox, but it's not all urban, you know? You have a bunch of weird... You like to imagine that on the outskirts you have actual forest, and you have desert, like in GTA 5, you know? You have all this sand dune, or not sand dune, but, you know, the desert right outside the city and so forth, and you have maybe beaches and things and whatever, little small islands outside. Okay. Alright, moving on. I'm gonna grab these two things and then dance. Okay, one is gone. I'm grabbing the other. I know there's a bunch of iron over here to my left, but that's okay. Like, how long would this take to skin if this was Red Dead Redemption 2? I'll still be skinning it. And still, and still, and still, and still, and still. And then you have to, like, roll it up and then have it under your arm, and then your horse can only hold a couple. Well, you know, you only hold one big and then a bunch of small. You gotta go turn them. But it's realistic. You got blood on you. Why are you all bloody? I hope that's animal blood. I'm guessing the other player is just hanging out at that mithril spawn and then with a timer, you know? Oh. Okay. Alright, so I'm not gonna go there. Okay, so now I want to go over here. Well, I can check. I'll just check really quick, but, you know, whatever. Because an AFK person that has a timer every 5 minutes, they might miss a time window because they're so lazy that they're AFK. You know? They're cutting down all these trees up this hill, though. Probably waiting the 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, but whatever time. Alright, I'm gonna go up the hill here. Con Vega, con yojo. Hey, look, they missed the window. I think I can mine now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think this is mine now. Come on. Are you watching Peacemaker there, Sean? Are you watching the Peacemaker show? I'm as human as any one of you. I laugh, I cry, I get scared. And despite all this, I wake up every day and put one foot in front of the other. The more times I hear that speech from Superman, I just think, man, this is just bad. It's not bad, it's just, why is it so, like, obvious? Despite... Does he really have to say the word despite? I wake up and put one foot in... I put my pants on one leg at a time like the rest of you folks. Do you have to say this, buddy? This is weird. I'm as human. Let me fly through the window. Let me bust in through the wall and talk about being human. Stop it. You saying alien doesn't offend me. That's why I'm going on this big long rant. Emotional. It doesn't bother me anymore when you call me human or alien. I think they should have made him look just a bit off. You know, with his eyes a bit too large or something. Or too spaced apart. His ears a bit too low. You know? Like, there's weird looking people out there in the world. Like his chin a bit too pointy. His head too ant-shaped. You know? But no, gotta be just human. I have constipation just like the rest of you. I see that several of you in the audience currently have constipation. My x-ray vision is a curse sometimes. You keep hearing about the Peacemaker show? So, is the Peacemaker show woke? The answer is yes. But it's not bad. You can have something woke and not be bad. You know? So, I guess. I don't know. I'm biased here. Because I'm watching the show. So I'm invested in what happens. You know, I'm curious about what's going to happen. It's more of a curiosity thing. it's more of a curiosity thing, wondering about what's going to happen in the overall DCU more than what's going to happen in the Peacemaker show. For example, I like the WandaVision show on Disney Plus, not because I like Wanda Maximoff as a character, or sort of, I guess, but because I want to find out how the multiverse ties in. That was before the multiverse sort of blew up. That was before the Spider-Man movie. That was before the Multiverse of Madness movie, you know? And the Loki show. I think it was like right before the Loki show. And now, the whole idea of the multiverse is understood by everybody. But I'm just thinking from the outside in, if I had to ask somebody, so I heard about this new Peacemaker show. Is it good? And if somebody else was really biased, they would have all the ammunition in the world. It's on HBO Max. It's on HBO, like Game of Thrones. If a person were, biased, they would have all the ammunition in the world to call that show woke. Okay? For example, if I said, hey, did you hear that there's going to be a new Green Lantern show? Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's like they're going to go into depth with the character. It's going to be great. But what if in the Green Lantern show, so what would make it woke? What would make a Green Lantern show woke? I'll tell you right now. If the character is hardly ever Green Lantern, if he's Green Lantern only in name and he's wearing civilian clothes the entire time, and if it's about weird interpersonal issues or drama involving people, and betrayal and people crying, is very emotional, and it's just about people, okay? And then in that, there's like weird issues with those people, like weird personal problems, like my wife and husband and my kids, and then the job and so forth and so, like you're relating with the character in a certain context, painting the world in a certain lens. And then if the main villain for the Green Lantern show was the CEO of a tech company, then that makes the entire show bad. Even if it's really entertaining, because it could be entertaining, it could have good special effects, it could have all kinds of cool stuff. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, what is the show actually about? They're using this opportunity to talk about tech companies? Or something like that? That's not what happens in the Peacemaker show. But, to give you some vague, bad analogy, I'm gonna make up a show, okay? Imagine there's a show about something, and the audience knows more about it than the people in the show. And the people in the show think that they're just living their normal life, but one of them has a magic controller that can do something weird if they end up pressing the wrong button. And they know that if the people in the crowd knows, if they press the number 5 button on that controller, it'll open up a dimensional portal that'll create copies of them, and then the copies of them will go through and then infiltrate and blah blah blah. Oh my gosh! And then they won't know who's a copy. And then did someone press the button? Find out. They did leave the controller on the counter, but the show is not even about the controller. It's about all the people stuff, and they're walking around talking about whatever the heck they're talking about, and they happen to have the controller. And you're wondering, is that guy fake? Because he seems more hostile today. Did he press the button? And then, episode 8 out of 10, they reveal something that might sound interesting. It might sound sci-fi for 3 seconds. And then it goes back down to just people arguing in civilian clothes. And that's usually what happens in these sort of things. Okay? Ever so often, there's something that relates to the main plot we care about. But what happens is you end up liking characters like they're people, like they're your friends, and you end up entering a different world that feels really comfortable. Like this show. The show becomes a different world with people, and lives, and you're sort of part of it, and then you're on for the ride, wondering if things are going to be resolved in a sort of a vague attachment. It's like a weird vibe thing. It's just vibes. Just feelings. Like you like how you feel when you watch the show, more than you like what's in the actual show. And sometimes these shows are really short, like 20-something minutes or something, with the credits and everything. But I will compare it to this, okay? I feel like with these modern shows, because they're using the real actors and they're tied into the movies, they're like just very, very long movies. And it's awesome. And it makes it more real that way. Okay? Like nothing really even has to happen. Because that's what's actually happening in that world. You know? If they get Robert Downey Jr. to wear the Iron Man suit and just go through his email, and then something happens, like he's wearing the Iron Man suit without the helmet, and he's like riffing off all of his emails while Jarvis is inhabiting a robot giving him a cup of coffee, and then something happens. It's like, oh my gosh, but nothing's really happening. It's just you're enjoying the fact that you're in that world with the characters that you like, and you're seeing more of their personality, and you like it. And then once in a blue moon, you get to see them do their actual thing that they're known for. But there's no... I think that's the solution, though. To handle weirdo characters like James Gunn. How do you handle weirdo characters without making something feel very corny and cartoony? You have to make their... Well, what makes this guy a weirdo? I'm Newspaper Man. I have a printer inside of my coat that will print out the front page of a newspaper. And on it, the words will... You'll be forced to read it, and then the words will blow up your brain. Newspaper Man. It's like a weird magical newspaper that I print from inside my coat. Right? That's like some weird DC comic character. Some weirdo comic character called Newspaper Man that prints out newspapers that makes you go crazy. Okay? And that you're forced to read it. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta read this newspaper, and then you die. Or something. If that was in a DC movie, like Suicide Squad Part 2 by James Gunn, this guy would be like a weird guy, not saying much, and he's hardly ever doing anything involving newspapers. And there's probably only one scene ever where he does a newspaper thing. He might do a partial scene just to establish that, hey, the guy with the newspapers, look, he's reading a newspaper. Or he might be doing something by hands, like, just give me my kit. Where's my coat? And at the very end, he gets his coat, and now he gets to make a newspaper, and then the bad guy reads it, and then the movie's over. But if he was just whipping out newspapers every 3 seconds, like a cartoon, then it's just like, I don't know. That's the sad part, Sadly, we can't just watch a movie with just a bunch of awesome action where the characters are doing cool stuff as their characters. Like in that one Avengers movie, it starts off with the team doing something really cool. If you recall where Iron Man says language cap, he says, I'm sorry, because he used a good word instead of a bad word. And they're like going through the forest. It was awesome. They were like coordinating attacks. And that scene lasted maybe two minutes, if that, and then it ends, and then Incredible Hulk gets turned back into Bruce Banner with the poem, and then it gets all weird and boring, and they're in civilian clothes for another 45 minutes, and they don't do anything until like way later on in the movie when the attack comes again. It's just a bunch of people talking, and people, Loki shows up and taps on a bunch of people's chests and talks about conquering the world and glorious purpose. You know? And that's cool, but he's not gonna, you know. Lightning bolts, things explode, everyone's wearing civilian clothes, and no one's reacting appropriately. There's no superhero showing up. Basically, the superheroes are disabled. I mean, their functionality is disabled for a time period until later on, until they know what's happening, they're available, they're clueless, they get caught up. It's like the whole, I'm sure there's a whole writing path. I know about the hero's journey. There's like a whole multi-phased way to tell a story involving the call to adventure. You know, there's like a whole series of tasks that a character goes through. You know, they reject it and then they accept it, and you know the character is defined. This whole thing, engineered, color by numbers. Anyways, I am currently getting some high-end material. I'm gonna go all throughout this area, and I think I'll pick up. I don't know. Let's go right now. It's just one tree I want. I don't really want to hang out here. It's just this. I just wanted to come here to remind myself about whether or not this existed, and it does. So there it is. But I don't really want to hang out here forever. I'm focusing on certain materials. Oh, what am I? Oh, I am currently working on amazing things. I was talking about things with Sean there on YouTube. She's probably still lurking. So yesterday I figured out how to make a lot of money. I'm making some matrices, or let's rephrase this. I was trying to think about gear and everything, about this endgame gear situation, about how it works, and I understand that you're able to upgrade gear, like named gear, and how that works. And I believe it's gear over level 650 that's named. It'll say named, and then you could upgrade it, and I think in the process you can add a perk that allows for customization. Wonderful. I don't really... This is a boss. Yeah. So, to do that, it requires a weapon matrix or armor matrix or jewelry matrix. And some other stuff. And that weapon matrix can be sold, and it requires prismatic materials to make the subcomponents. And before I was selling just the subcomponents, you know? And now... I'm selling that other item. The end item. I was just hopping around to a couple different spots for Runewood, and hey, it's the guy, and you're in my guild.
Duel me with that big old great axe.
I don't want to do you. I'm a.
I got one in me. Then I got work in the morning.
Okay. Well, I'll let you kill me if that's what you really want.
No, I just wanted to duel.
No, I'm
before I jumped off.
Oh, well, you're gonna win.
How was that?
I've only been in this playthrough. I've only been going for about 50 or so days. I used to play in the past, and I came back with New World of Aeternum. I used to play a long time ago, and I came back, and I'm working on the character here and there. I got my little different builds and everything, you know. But it's not good enough for such things. I do PvP all the time, you know, open world and so forth, and you know, and I go over there in that free-for-all zone for resources. I like to be in the PvP environment while flagged for PvP.
Well.
You know, I like
it seems as if we're on the same side of the fence now. No, I like dueling people with range right here because for some reason this wall, even though your head sticks above it,
oh, you can't shoot
blocks
over?
all the. Yeah, it's funny as fuck.
Oh.
Hey, get over here, Melena.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I bet you won't duel him.
Yeah,
I bet you won't duel him. You coward,
Yeah,
purple.
Get out of here.
You're a
Get outta
coward.
here.
You better leave. Yeah, you won't duel him. Oh. Oh my god. Alright, I only came here for the wood. This guy over here. I'm not ready for dueling. Crazy. Look, a person that wants to duel, they got gear that's so good that they're at the... They just want to duel people. You know? That's how you know that you're good at PvP, when you just want to start dueling random people. Hey there, how's it going? I'm over here, you know, in a farming build. One doubloon. Vitamin B12. Alright, I think I'm relatively safe right here. I hear someone... Well, I'm probably not safe because they're probably riding from the other side. If I can hear the horse, they're coming around this cliffside, you know? Which means they have the option to not leave the free-for-all area before coming in here. If they leave the free-for-all area, then they're on a 30-second cooldown. If they're just riding around the cliff, then they can just come get me. You know, maybe I didn't, yeah. That might have been that lodestone, actually. The sound of galloping. Sin Child. Yeah. I want this mithril. Man, it really is too bad that I started so much later than these other players, you know? Because it takes me a certain time period to get all caught up with all the nooks and crannies and so forth and so on. Because I want to understand things as I go and all that. And there's ways to accelerate past all that and then figure things out afterward. Okay? And that ain't me. One day I'll be strong. Look, I know that the potential is there to have a build so good that you basically, that if you fought someone that is as good as you, the battle would take forever to actually complete, you know? And for everybody else, you kill them. So, basically, your build can be so good in PvP, and it's not even all that hard to accomplish. Your build can be so good in PvP that you either win, or it's a stalemate. Because the battle's taking too long. That by the time you end up just dancing. You end up dancing next to the person because neither of you can kill each other. Because the cooldowns and everything, your life is completely filled up. You're not doing enough damage to chunk it away before the vampiric action comes back, and then you're immortal again. You know, that it's just perfect. Like a battle of attrition, like who gives up first? Like who's going to get bored with this fight before the other guy? Or you just win. So that kind of person wants to just fight random people. And anybody that agrees to the duel is on the same vague page. They say, yeah, my gear is pretty good. I can be vaguely immortal in PvP. And then you watch these guys duel, and their duel is just taking forever, and no one's dying. And then eventually, maybe someone dies. All right, well that whole section's done. I'm getting orichalcum and runewood from different spots on the map. I'm getting a lot of runewood to the point where I'll probably need more ironwood. This guy just hanging out over here, challenging people. Oh yeah.
What crazy that is.
I'm just getting some runewood. You better duel them right now.
Yeah, what he said.
That's my job. I'll be the hype man. Stupid boar. Stupid boar needs higher dexterity. That was nice. Well, I got a lot of runewood now.
That boar stood no chance. But anyways, alright, I gotta go. I'll see you around.
Catch you later. In the fields of battle. We need someone like that on our team. We need someone like this on our team, okay? He's in the guild now, Sinchild, you see how that works? That guy's in our guild. A really good PvP dude. He's gonna be killing people. He'll be in the front lines taunting. He'll be the PvP tank taunting people to attack while we slaughter him from the shadows. He'll be the Queen Raptor. Give it to me, what you say. Now where's my bounty? Exhausted and void. Okay, so now it's time to get some... I don't want it. I think now I'm gonna go back. I think I got enough with the other stuff. Let's go check a couple more lodestone locations. Yeah. I'll check a bit of lodestone. Hey there. It's quite the chimney. This building probably has amazing airflow. This weird shaft. Especially because there's this heat source that draws everything up. Like without this, it would be a bit different. But I bet you it's pretty windy right here. Why wouldn't it be like incredibly windy, like right here, to the point where these fires might even blow out because it's so windy? Is that the only air source in the bottom of this entire thing? Of course it's going to be windy. Because if you consider how big this volume of air is, and the fact that the air in here is hotter than the air out there, all the air is being pushed out of this column. Especially because there's no smoke in here. I know it's not real. Okay? I know it's not real. It's real to me, okay? Alright, I'm gonna put you in cut this keys for now. Alright, I'll move on out.